In this build log series, I'm making VR shoes, shoes that allow you to walk in VR while staying in the same place in the real world. In this video, I'm going to go over my progress on building this, a VR support rig for the VR shoes. This rig doesn't require bolting to the ceiling or the wall. In the last video, I was building this octagon, and it works. It's just that it has a lot of parts and it's more complicated, and it was harder to put together than I would have liked. So I ended up designing a new octagon that circles and rotates around the platform, and it ended up being simpler. It used less parts, there were less holes to drill, just all around easier to build. So I packed a lot of functionality into each corner. There are 3 rollers in each corner. There's this roller here that rolls along the rim of the platform as it gets pushed back and forth. This ensures that it rolls very nicely. There's this roller down here that rolls on the floor. I found that the corners would dip down and even touch the floor before, so now this wheel prevents that. And then there's a roller underneath here that rolls along the underside of the platform and ensures that the whole thing can't tip, like you can't pull this whole thing up and flip it over. And there's this U-bolt here that is going all the way down to that bottom roller, so it's wrapping all the way around, and it ensures that the user can't really force this to come up. Then there's the conduit that comes in here, and then there's a bolt that goes through each piece of conduit, so the conduit pieces overlap and then the bolt goes through it. This is my latest version of the corner. I have an older version on all of the 7 other ones, so I have to replace all of them with this version still. You may be thinking that having 3 rollers in each corner is kind of overkill, and I had a simpler design at first that had less rollers, but I found that 3 rollers is really needed because this support rig is going to have lots of forces subject to it by the user. So as the user goes forward, they're going to be pushing the whole thing forward, and they're going to be lifting up these back corners while pushing the front corners into the ground. So there's this torquing motion, there might be torquing motion left and right, and it has to handle all those forces on it while it's rotating. So there's a lot of forces in all sorts of different directions, and I found the 3 rollers on each corner really is optimal to handle all of that smoothly. Plus, I'm in my basement and the floor is kind of uneven, so I have to deal with that as well. I found with this project that things are really not as simple as they appear once you really dig into the details and try to build something in reality. Now I'll go over the features of this support rig. The first being these arms are telescoping rods, so these can be adjusted to the particular height of the user. So if the user is shorter, then this thing can be adjusted to be shorter, or if they're taller, and so on. So different heights of different people. The middle part here is able to slant back and forth so that the user can lean forward or lean back, however they want. This rig will support couching. I'm going to have 2 pipes that go through these 2 crosses, and will go up and down like this, just like with my last support rig where it had 2 rods that go up and down to support crouching as well. So if the rig was just like this, it wouldn't be very safe for the user to use because it can move all around like this. So I added this threaded rod here, and when it's all tightened down with these nuts here, the rig is much more secure and it can't fall over, so I can't really do anything with it, and it causes everything to really be more rigid and really everything to rotate and to turn very nicely. And adding this threaded rod was actually a marvelous suggestion from my wife, so thank you, Miranda, for this excellent suggestion. So the rig turns around the platform really nicely. I don't have the carpet tiles underneath this right now, so I think it's going to be a little quieter once I add the carpet tiles back in. I have various improvements to make. I think I can make these joints down here stronger, and of course I'll cut this threaded rod to a better length, and a bunch of other things that I'm going to do, but it's coming along nicely, and I obviously need to put the rest of it together. The threaded rod is going to get in the way when the user tries to lean forward really far, so I'm going to extend these 2 pieces of conduit up further and then move this threaded rod up here above it so it's up and out of the way and the user can lean forward as much as the user wants. So in conclusion, it's all coming together nicely. In the next build log, I hope to have everything built and all the improvements made, and then do some actual testing with it. So if you liked the video, you know what to do. See you next time.